She stood on the steel deck of the carrier, wind whipping her hair, the echo of the Admiral's voice still ringing in her ears. "Lieutenant Commander Harper, your presence on this carrier is no longer authorized. You're to be removed immediately." The words hit harder than any punch she'd taken in combat. The Admiral hadn't even looked her in the eye when he said it, just waved a dismissive hand before turning his attention back to his officers. Harper felt every pair of eyes track her as the Marine escort walked her toward the hangar bay. Some looked confused, some looked smug, others, those who actually knew her, looked quietly horrified. Because they all knew the truth. Harper didn't get expelled, she got targeted. Someone wanted her gone, someone who feared what she had uncovered. She stepped into the helicopter waiting on standby, ordered to fly her off the carrier and leave her, awaiting reassignment. The doors slammed shut, the rotors roared. Within seconds, the floating city of steel was shrinking beneath her. When the carrier was a distant speck, Harper finally let the anger bleed into her voice. "This is wrong," she muttered. "They know this is wrong." But then something happened, something no one aboard the carrier would have ever expected. Her headset crackled, a voice she hadn't heard in almost a year spoke quietly. "Harper, sit tight, you've got company incoming." Her heart stopped. Commander Rourke, the man who had once led her team, the man everyone believed was halfway across the Pacific on black operations, sounded completely calm. "You were expelled from the carrier 15 minutes ago. The entire fleet saw it. And Harper, a certain boat is not happy." She frowned. "What boat?" But before he could respond, the helicopter vibrated as a sonic boom tore across the sky. The pilot cursed and banked left. Out of the clouds emerged a dark silhouette slicing through the ocean's surface, impossibly fast, impossibly close. A Virginia-class nuclear submarine shot upward, breaking protocol, breaking orders, breaking every rule in the book. Spray exploded upward as its bow erupted from the deep on an emergency surface maneuver reserved only for war or catastrophic emergencies. The pilot yelled, "What the hell are they doing? Subs don't surface here." But Harper knew, because standing on the deck, how he got up there, she didn't know, was Commander Rourke himself, headset still around his neck, wind ripping through his uniform. He pointed directly at her helicopter. Then he lifted a signal paddle, bright orange, unmistakable. A personal extraction signal, a command so old school and so rarely used it bordered on myth. The pilot stared. "Lieutenant Commander, that submarine is signaling for you." Her breath caught. No one had ever broken protocol like this for a single person. No submarine had ever surfaced without authorization in a carrier group's waters. But they had done it for her. Because whatever the Admiral feared her exposing, the crew of that submarine were ready to fight for her to reveal it. The helicopter landed on the wet steel of the submarine's hull with a jarring thud. Spray from the still breaking waves drenched everything, but Harper didn't hesitate. She jumped out before the rotors fully stopped, boots slamming onto the curved deck. Commander Rourke met her halfway, gripping her shoulder with the same intensity he used on missions. "You shouldn't have come," she said, breathless. He shook his head. "And leave you to get buried by politics? Not a chance." A klaxon blared, 3 sharp blasts, an unmistakable signal, emergency dive in 60 seconds. Rourke didn't waste time. He grabbed her pack, shoved it into her arms, and guided her toward the open hatch. Inside, sailors waited for her like she was royalty returning from exile. Some saluted, others simply nodded, but with a look Harper recognized, loyalty earned, not ordered. As they descended the ladder, the hatch slammed shut above them. The interior lights flickered red. "Chief," Rourke barked, "take us down." "Silent protocol. Let's disappear." The submarine's engines throbbed to life, a deep vibration that worked its way through her bones as the vessel slipped back under the waves. Harper felt the pressure change, the sub tilting downward as the ocean swallowed them whole. Only when the hum steadied did Rourke finally exhale. "You were expelled because you found something, didn't you?" Harper nodded. "I found a data trail connected to the sabotage incident last month. Someone on that carrier is selling naval movements. I traced the leak to a restricted console tied directly to the Admiral's office." Rourke swore under his breath. She continued, "When I confronted the systems officer, he panicked. Within an hour, the Admiral had security escorting me off the ship." Rourke looked at her with a mix of pride and dread. "You realize what that means, Harper? The Admiral isn't covering for someone, he might be the leak." The sub went dead silent. Even the hum of the engines felt distant. A young sonar technician looked up, wide-eyed. "Sir, if that's true, it means," Rourke cut in, we're carrying the most dangerous person in the Navy right now. Because she knows too much. Harper folded her arms. And now I have no jurisdiction, no access, no authority. I'm a ghost. Rourke stepped closer. Good. Ghosts can move without being seen. Before she could respond, the XO approached, urgency written across his face. Commander, we've intercepted encrypted fleet traffic. The carrier just reported us for unauthorized surfacing and for extraction of a removed officer. Harper stiffened. They're going to spin it. They'll say you're compromised. Rourke smirked. Let them try. This boat's been off the grid longer than that admiral's been in uniform. But then the XO added, voice low. That's not all. A destroyer has been ordered to track and intercept us. Harper felt a chill crawl up her spine. The Navy wasn't just trying to silence her. They were willing to hunt down a nuclear submarine to do it. Rourke's voice turned to steel. Then we find proof. We expose him, and we end this before they end you.